ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Sicily, the Crusader Kings 3 series here on the Lord Master channel. In the Malta channel, is where our mouse is pointing at. But yeah, here in the pirate island of Malta and Gozo and Lampedusa. That, as I said, we're pirate island because of our separate cultural tradition of practiced pirates, in addition to being stalwart defenders to help defend the island, because the Maltese culture is a diverged culture from Siculo-Arabic, in which I've done that. Oh boy, I was just reading that text. Nothing, related on this matter. But still, in the short term, bailiffs is the next cultural fascination for the innovation I wish to have, just to get another additional building slot, which would benefit the whole island. By island, I mean this, all its holdings is the appropriate term here. As we still tend to construct further, but also for Emir Ismail, the map maker and pirate lord, who is no longer fertile as it once was. He's survived pneumonia, but eventually he's going to pass away sooner or later, and the realm will be taken over by Abu Bakr ibn Ismail, which he is not married yet, but he'll find one. Even if he has to do piracy work to, I don't know, steal somebody's wife and... Yeah. Kind of like what they do with concubines, except you have to ask for marriage. Which is going to be a bit hard to come by. Unless you find someone else more suitable for this sort of thing. And I had, Xena as a favorite child, because I thought, like I probably shouldn't play as her at this point, despite the excellent traits that she would have. Like, she'd be an excellent adventurer and mercenary and all that. But I believe it's better to, somebody to manage Malta, because you got yourselves another genius. But he's more into diplomacy. He does have the martial skill, though not as great as I, because I built it up over the years, and I'm a veteran adventurer. So maybe perhaps that Abu Bakr, that he'll be a... Unless you look at him. Compare and contrast. They do have similar education, so you got figure and all that. I could legitimize him. Can't I? No. It does not appear you can, because different... the easiest thing in the world to be telling him, hey, convert to Islam, and thus he will lose the bastard trait, and he'll pick up wild oat, and then he'll be in the line of succession immediately. So I don't know, arbitrary, ambitious, and arrogant. That sounds, pirate-like, one would think. But of course he has to change his culture as well once he begins his rule here. So he like Abu Bakr, he too also has commonly. Same education tier, but who is better, skill-wise? Like all around, because I could switch. One's got more prowess than him. Well, he actually has a bit more diplomacy and stewardship. A bit more martial. And plus, he's ambitious. And he's arbitrary, which, as I stated before, it's like, that's pirate-like, because, the things they do. So, plus follower. Experienced traveler, whereas I don't think you've traveled that much. And him being a wild oat does not hurt your inheritance. Remember, If you get rid of the bastard, he's gonna jump in first in line of succession. Though he'd be a much older man. He had been married before, but bad luck. He hasn't been remarried in nearly 15 years. But the benefit of having Alvaca here is more years than him. Plus lustful. Also callous and fickle. And you, on the other hand. Yeah. I'm thinking. Because the only major difference is he's 38. If I were to die now, and if I were to make him, you know, legitimized bastard by the virtue of converting to Islam, and he would start off the same age as, you know, like when you think of the very beginning of the game back in 147 years ago with Saldan the First. That the series started with him at the age of 38. And a lot happened in those years. Like, what did he do besides spending time with Canine other than his relatives died and all that? He's still friends with Domenico of Canine, so perhaps these connections would do. He speaks our language. But sometimes ambition can drive better. So nobody should worry about vassal opinion except maybe the mayor. Well, I'm going to do the stupid option here. He's going to be converted to Islam, and he's going to jump in first in line of succession because he's of our dynasty. Although he may continue to practice Catholicism in secret. I don't think those rules apply for wild oats, right? Because if that were to be the case, then it says, "Dear Allah, go outside. It's late. I'm tugging at a gripping treatise on classical grammar. Just start giggling at some delightful snide of marginella left by the previous reader. My wife enters the room. Spineless man. You neglect everything but your studies. Reading indoors alone from dusk to dawn. Get your head out of these dusty scrolls and don't come to my bed tonight." Hey, I'm in for Tom, so. I'll say, I need not leave you. I have the warm embrace of knowledge. Focused reading. Plus, I think we're ready for another round of piracy. This time we raid Sardinia. One sec. Okay. You know what? Look it up economy-wise. Northern half is much more. Unless you want to be bold and just, oh, I don't know, raid his property. Because we know. No, even better. What about Venice? You know it's highly developed. These can really fill up the coffers here. Yeah. Why don't we raid Venezia itself? Take a bold, big risk to Venezia. This would take about 7 months to travel. It'll be enough loot for all. We'll hit the jackpot. One last great raid. before I pass. Okay, I guess he won't be in that line of succession because born out of wedlock. Guess he's already disqualified. Sorry, son. Actually, now he is. It's just we were having a debate amongst, you know, the clergy, one would think. That's what's going on here. But here's the thing, though, because he does have some prestige left over. Once he takes over, we're not importing the Hrvatski culture because they don't really have much in the way of benefits. But it definitely, you know, changes culture to Maltese. I'm doing that because of slightly better stats than Abu Bakr. That's why. That's why I chose him. And him being a secret Catholic is irrelevant. Yeah. On your way. Ditches constructed. This will increase the levy size slightly, but the fort level would be very high at Lampedusa, which means an invading army that wishes to take it is going to have a hard time. They have to bring more men for this. Same goes for our capital. Raiding Dalmatia would be the easy option. That'll be for future reference, for future raids. Instead, we want to go for the biggest before my life ends. As bedridden and infirm. Plus, due to Venice's geographical location where they get their lives, so it's going to take too long for them to assemble to try to get us off. I'll investigate this myself. Unfaithful, have an affair with my friend Theodoro. The world will know this of your sordid affair. Today I was going about the vicinity of my castle, contemplatively of Brindisi approached me and asked for a few minutes of my time. So I agreed. I have towards soon zone. I think saying he wants his gold. How much? 200. Screw you. Yeah. I could divorce her right now, but at this point, I don't care. I'm gonna die soon. Plus, I'm out here raiding. She has every right to... 4 months! I mean, after all, this is the Great Raid of Venetia. We got the big one. And we have your wife. Bring me mountainous plunder. 61 loot to the current raiding army. We scored big, gentlemen. $42, $30, $37. Go get it. We hit the jackpot. Now it takes another 3 months. I guess they got Sicily, did they? Apulia. Oh, they're getting it very soon. Whenever hostilities end and whenever he's not leading an army, I would have done something about it had I known earlier. $30 gold here, then that'll be it. And we'll get out of here, and because this would be our biggest pile of loot we'll ever have. Spend it on that hill fort right now. Stockades. Much larger garrison. Nobody tried to come over and stop us. What were they doing? Passing through my court, I noticed an unrecognized face approach me. Most pickable age, I am Sina, former courtier of Vassar's Jaldat. He's asked me to present myself before you in particular court. He has also given me a letter he instructs you only may read. And the breaking seals simply the letter simply reads, Dear Ismail, please assassinate the bearer of this letter, Jaldat. You've marked to death. Flee while you can. Mysteriously fails to escape. Well, you're the only one bastard who don't like me. And you got no skills. Yesterday my faithful court demon appeared before me, offering a holy guidance and disciple contemplation, a spiritual retreat lasting some weeks over the next months. Gilding was adamant. The time is right for me to cleanse myself of any sinful thoughts that will later reflect on my deeds. I should start contributing to the religious work in my domain by providing a sizable amount of gold. That's up to me to know what to do. I have more important things to attend to. Yeah, we got it all. We'll be home in 7 months? 6 months. Previous month saw a strong increase in anti-piracy patrols and my fleet's been suffering grievous losses. If I want to continue with the piracy operations, I need to build more ships to make up for the losses. Well, I actually do end a piracy operation because my life's gonna end soon, and it'll be restarted again under Theodore. Because he's arbitrary, you know. He would be gleefully doing the whole piracy thing. For me, I'm doing my own brand of piracy where I'm leading it personally. And plus, we scored big. The amount of loot we'll be bringing here very soon. I do note, yes, I'd noticed that the development growth isn't going up as faster as it once was. Because the existing development, as it's 23 versus how in Salerno, 25. Although it took a bit of a hit due to the recent raids we've been doing. There we are. Oh, they've done it. Apulia has taken over, and if he has the money, he could finally form the Kingdom of Sicily title. $100 for your wife, yes. And here comes some more. Payday. Yes. Of course, we could improve upon this further. More tax income and more control growth, so control will not be much of an issue. So, doing this to benefit ourselves. Sure. Yeah, Theodore would start his rule in his 40s, which, you know, adds to the possibility that his reign might be short, but he'll definitely be a pirate lord. That's going to be his rule as a characteristic. He's just a dog. He approaches me, raises his eyes, dog his head, dragged the dog by the scruff of his neck as he reaches me. He sits, my dear Shallowsome. I found this piece among my things. What wasn't chewed to bits was covered in excrement. He's just a dog. Just a second. Gotcha. Anyways, let's read upon this. My daughter Antipatra. You know what? Stop this. Cancel that offer. You should be matrilineally married, all of you. It'll be alright. At least we have alliances in there somewhere. And Antipatra, you know, the wisest of us all. Oh my goodness. The legendary Abbasid. You got it. Estefania. I want my children to have all this. I mean, as long as it stays within the dynasty, I'd be all for it. But in actuality, you know, has to be that faith, not that culture. And my youngest will also be matrilineally married. Everybody's getting matrilineally married. Only doing this simply because I'm looking for traits. Even if they're bloody old men. We acquire booty again. 84 gold. And we're gonna need that money to save it up for, oh my goodness, 425. Well, time to go raiding again. Ready. To Sardinia. Because there's some valuables up north. Start here in Galura. Or better yet, just work your way up. Hell, raid Corsica if you have to against Great Italy. Or even Universum Regnum in Marseille. Sardinia first. He can carry a lot more loot than usual. Rival was gored on a boar's tusk. You know, regardless, when that character dies, whenever that character dies, it's going to be back to Muslim rule. Learning per level devotion is always nice. takes less days because 4 levels are non-existent in certain areas. And those are his last words whilst he was a command. King Ismail of Malta has left the transit house at the call of the True One at 67 years of age. He died of old age. A hollowed shell of his former self, he had long lost his wits by the time of his final passing. But let us not forget that what an adventure that man had. Born in Salerno, was exiled. He went to various places across the Mediterranean world, and and man, oh man, oh man, oh man, and he did a life of a freebooter, and he became a mercenary, and then he became a pirate's lord. Made a map or two, and so now he was the cultural head of the new Maltese culture, the exalted among men. He was exalted, and he was dreaded very, very much. Nobody can touch him. He was a torturer and inspector, fought in 7 wars, hosted 7 activities, and attended 4 activities. So now, Kidins Theodore, well, soon to be called the Emir Theodore, which is a Greek-derived name, you know, when you think about it. So it fits. He ascends to the throne, a corrupt and unjust man. Many do not expect his vassals to sit idly by if the realm starts crumbling under his watch. Well, who's going to touch him? He's going to be a pirate lord. He's going to continue on that legacy. Yeah. He inherits all these things. And in case there is a bit of tyranny around here. Ah, no wonder why the mouse buildings were so easy to build. Much reduced construction capabilities. In case there's any tyranny around here, I'll be sure to reduce it. We still got that one mysterious lamp, which I ought to have that destroyed at some point. Because what the hell for? I don't have a court, and not going to get a court anytime soon. But he has traveled enough places where, if he wants to, he could do the inspection activity, which he can't. So I don't see the point of having that. But gain development control when do at least one activity or coming back home from. At least be good for it. But since he's a man of diplomacy, let me see. He can befriend somebody and challenge somebody to the board game. Groom to rule. Bound by blood. Huh. Should he be a patriarch? Well, he's a lustful man, so I don't think he would be into that. You know what, I got a better idea. It would be nice just to gain instant development through travel. Would also love to do more of that monument expedition. I like doing those. So I'd rather go August because the prestige, and each time you bring in the loot, you lose prestige because you're not tribal. So, give it a Majesty focus. Unless you want to take the route of Pirate Lord, in which the way to do that is to, you know, go through here, through there, and there. Especially the raid speed part. And there might be instances where, you know, he could be... Although... Yeah, go ahead. strategy focus while in the meantime. Go for all these things that gets you prestige. Should save that money to go get yourself some, you know, improve your whatever. And as for this one, I mean, having more domain taxes is always nice. But traveling through domain holdings improves the effectiveness of the station men-at-arms of ours. Yeah, leave it with these. Travel logs. This wait for the seasoned trade experience when you arrive somewhere. Oh, and convert the local culture. That's the word you're looking for. This is going to get rid of most of my prestige. Truth be told, there is little separating my tradition from those of people in Lackadle. We observe the same holy days, the same feasts, and our languages become almost the same. So I'll adopt the Maltese culture. I acknowledge who I am. So now let me put on the proper clothes. Out of respect for the local traditions. This is you, and you are magnificent. Yeah. Being arbitrary is sinful. So this is the first time we actually have a sinful ruler here. Oh, and his name changed too. He is no longer Theodore, which is the Croatian variant of Theodoros. That is what he is called now. He is Theodoros, the Greek original form of that. Theodoros ibn Ismail. Yes. And now I'm going to need a spouse who would have a good balance at martial stewardship and learning, because that's what it needs. So look for one of good martial, good, great stewardship. At least the balance of those two. I mean, you might be it, but keep looking. You'd be hard pressed on. Oh, actually, we may have found a genius here. Bingo. Nico bint Musin. Excellent. Both parents have a trait, it will get inherited. Versus this, which is might inherit. Continue the line of genius children, yes. We ought to get rid of you, because wrong faith is one thing. And two, the opinion of predecessor, you do not like him at all. But I'll put you in simply for the sake of it. You might screw things up. Now it takes years to develop the next level for Malta. For 24. We can speed that up. But first things first. As the raid continues. You're the most qualified. Oh yeah, we do not have the benefits of, you know, him being a veteran adventurer. Yeah, the men-at-arms maintenance, that's the reason why we're getting negative money right now. You're still raiding, right? One sec. Just making sure. because of the traditions here. Wouldn't cry over spilled milk about it. So what you should do is hold a funeral here in Gozo. This will be an extravagant funeral for my father, who we never really got to know each other that much, other than, oh, say, by the time I became an adult and moved in and all that. And spent all of my childhood in Canine. Yeah. Let's check the guest though, regarding neighboring rulers. Who would be willing to come and who does not. Because honestly, he deserves it. And maybe we can get along. Unless you want someone else. You know, befriend the mayor here because he's going to be an issue. That would be most wise. And if it doesn't work, start swaying. Let's do it. Now whispers about the tales and deeds of my father exalted among men, mere Ismail. Everywhere I go, near or far, it seems to be nobody's. There is nobody who has not heard his name. I wonder, will I stay in the shadow of my father, or will I be able to achieve as much fame in my life as him? How high will I be able to climb? One day I'll be like you, Ismail. I'll be much more vulnerable to stress. Gozo is to be Ismail's final resting place. I'm left alone to gather my thoughts and prepare for the arrival of the honored mourners. Can't find Rosjald out anywhere yet. I eagerly wait for his arrival so my plan to befriend him can finally start. I'll never forget him. It takes 8 months until everybody's arrived, or so. Meanwhile, we spent the money on a funeral and we're gonna need some of that. Refused the nepotism. Yes, I'm the culture head of the Maltese. Mistress Zara. Straight to the coast. At least they're going away. Raid this area next. Yeah. Adrian. You go strong and wise. Oh, right there. Once we collect loot and all that, we're gonna restart that piracy operation. That my father put a stop to it, but now I intend to carry on all that, because I'm arbitrary. Don't really care much about law and all that. All I care about is taste of a good woman and getting things done, because I'm ambitious. Plus, in this house you speak Arabic, not Serbsko-Hrvatski. Oh, that belongs to Italy. Well, remember to go around and raid there too. There's a lot of valuable in here. No stone unturned. So, development growth just jumped up a bit. In an unlikely event, if I die of illness, then Alvatka takes over, which would be quite ironic. Unfortunately, my condition deteriorated further the last few days. I have expected the bad news of an ominous stance. This morning I was diagnosed with a serious condition. What condition? Pneumonia. I'm in the hands of God. I mean, Allah, not God. Remember, do we not have a physician? We have a terrible physician. He needs to be replaced. Courtiers, help me. Now you got negative prestige. If I died of pneumonia right this instant, again, would not be the worst thing in the world, because you are we're on an island here. There was a bit of nepotism going on, and then if he takes over, then they'll be like, ah, good. Let's see if he survives or how long it lasts. I need a good treatment here. Please, help. I mean, you're not near death, so... Oh, you are near death now. Right, the funeral begins. Am I gonna die during a funeral? Oh dear. It's taken much of the evening to get myself close to her. I thought about making it forced. After all, the best friendships are natural. And I want him to think it is spontaneous. By Allah, does my maybe friend barely distinguishing much. That was a heavy course. And so soon after the last waiting one. It simply sits too heavily in the stomach, and I simply cannot believe that the servants expect to keep serving their master working this poorly. The arrogant to me says, "You do realize this is my feast, yes?" Wife's arrived. There's only one holding here. So right there, then we'll go around, and then right there. There's still much loot to carry. Move on. I gaze upon Ismail in Malta in quiet contemplation, interrupted by an occasional well-wisher offering their sympathies. Bastard! Swain! Fool! You dare call yourself Emir? My brother Kadir hurls himself towards me, various finger-waving inches on my face. Emir Ismail of Malta had designs for me to rule in this place. Villain! Get Out! How dare you publicly announce the claim to the title during a funeral here? Which, matter of fact, I want you out of here. These close family of you. Bastard! As weeks pass, I feel my body growing stronger and stronger, till the day I stop coughing. The pressure upon my chest is lifted. Fortunately, I was able to beat pneumonia and will live to tell the story. I can count myself lucky with that. I didn't get any proper treatment. Still affected by last visit. Now the time has come to commit to Malta's final rites before his journey into the hereafter. Ishmael's enshrouded body is held suspended above an open grave, surrounded by close friends and family. He stood his head as your privileged priest of mourning afforded only to the magnanimous host. To see him surrounded by so many mourners and given a proper Ismaili burial gives me hope that perhaps I too will be remembered this fondly as Emir. At last, by his Lord in the earth, and the funeral is officially complete with the prayer. Beautiful. The dedication of faith. Wasn't able to befriend him, but at least it was an effort. Keep reading. And didn't take too long, because, you know, I'm a lustful man character. Just go along the coast and raid there, because there's still room. Alright. The current state of affairs is changing with the rise of Agnes, the foreign Regina of the Regno of Italy. Regina of Regno of Italy, who seeks to expand her power over Sicily. She's already increasing her military, political, and economic presence in the region. Local warlords and patricians are wary of her ambitions. Frontiers like Sicily are not the most stable or peaceful regions. Despite new developments in the region's trajectory, it remains to see whether anything will change in the long run. Things got interesting again in this land between three worlds. So now I'm an interloper. So, because of the occupation of the frontier, so this started the colonization phase immediately. It's because of her presence there. That's why. The what? What the hell are the Ghaznavids doing in Sicily? That seems silly. One must think. Was this inherited? Inherited. Abdication. Right. It was granted, then went back and forth. Even one point went Catholic Persian, and then them, and then the abdication, and therefore the Wali here owns Taranto. Plus, I'm of the involved cult. We're not an evolved culture, we're an interloper. Which, when a character is tangled up in a specific struggle, is not yet considered fully evolved, they're an interloper. Interlopers have their capitals within the struggle region, but do not have both the involved faith and involved culture. Fully involved characters think of them as nosy, troublesome outsiders who don't understand where they are not wanted. Interlopers thus generally take some penalties in the counties they hold inside the struggle region. Right, the effects for interlopers, like us, it's like, hey, at least it reduces the men-at-arms maintenance a bit. Common. So I'll guess that we can't do much to contribute to, because our culture is not involved, but the faith is. Thank goodness you didn't go fully Quranist. For a long time, my Sebasutta, spy master, is trying to capture Lucy's spy. For too long she proved to be a shadow that only left hints along after her operations were finished. Finally she committed a mistake that led Aaron to discover she's an agent and relative of Thermachus Theodoros of Sebenico. Ah. The rest is made is now up to me what to do with this unpalatable character. Again, this is based on the skills of this character, or I could just ransom. Let me see. You're vengeful, deceitful, and brave, Aaron. The Egyptian. I believe this is more of your craft. You should scheme to convince the spy to cooperate. That would be the best option. Yeah, let's do that. I've heard whispered talk of a powerful seer, gifted with an ability to interpret portents. I understand she lives in a secluded cabin, not even an hour's ride away. It is tempting to see if I could gain precious clarity to what my future may hold, and to change it for the better. Plan a discreet visit. This is new. The next day, as darkness falls, I dismount before a sturdy wooded cabin and walk up a narrow path. The seer's door opens before I knock. Come in, my lord. I was expecting you, says a surprisingly attractive woman. Young and attractive woman. I enter and look around the room, uncharacteristically uncertain as to what to do. Please have a seat, she bids, pointing to a bench in the corner. You imagine an old crone? She asks with a raised eyebrow. I shrug, but the seer sees the truth of it. Maybe I am, she smiles. This more pleasing appearance is just but a glamour. I blink and then peer at her more carefully. I jest. She laughs, and I relax a little, till she adds, perhaps. In any event, what troubles you seek my gift at this night? Who are you? Local Maltese woman who is hunched back and comely. I have a feeling that this event popped up because it's probably in part of esotericism. That's why. It's likely due to that. Since I'm arrogant and ambitious, I'll say, my glory. I have always felt that this was meant for greatness, but will I achieve it, I inquire? There is no shortage of miscreants, jealous of my talent and noble birth. What if I failed through a cruel caprice of fate, a stray arrow, or summer fever, or pneumonia? Let your blood tell, answers the seer, setting a large bowl on the table and filling it with cream. After warming the blade over the candle, then she hands me a small but very sharp knife. Cut in your right palm, she instructs, and let the blood drip into the bowl. Be sure not to rock the table. The pain is sharp, but I grit my teeth and spread my palm above the bowl, watching the bright crimson spots land in the white liquid. I see the hunter in the sky, that giant with his prey, fallen at his feet, a pattern carried towards the east, towards new beginnings. The blood is bold, crisp, refusing to be diluted. Yes, all the signs point to your success. I'll thank the seer for the good omen. I'll take the stress loss since I'm nearly gone with all the stress. Well, that was interesting. I guess it happened because, again, local faith and its tenets has esotericism. I assume that's what that is. Now the captain is the dynasty head. The interrogation of foreign spies to the service of Democracy Theodoros Semenico was a failure, as she refuses to provide further information of her involvement. Thus, she was protecting the whole network. Unfortunately, the only consolidation prize is we have to let this important spy rot in my dungeons. A Pyrrhic victory. Oh, damn. Unable to get the information about a captured enemy spy. Damn Dalmatian spy. Okay, raid one more area, then it'll be full. Because every single gold matters. So northern Sardinia is richer than southern Sardinia. Got it. Oh yeah. Since any foreigner that tries to control Sicily that isn't Ismaili, expect uprisings, because it won't be pretty. 50 gold! Thank you very much. Adventurer landed. Alright. Daughter. Zara. It's at the max. I gotta put it in. Still getting development, slowly but surely. It's just it takes years now. Oh yeah, forgot to start swaying you a bit. Since I have excellent diplomacy skill. And what am I going to do with this newly earned money? Well, a few things. Hopefully I'll be alright with this illness. Unless I get pneumonia again. Shaitan's fire. Hope it doesn't reach the coast. Raid loot delivered, and you just lost a lot of prestige, young man. Well, you're not young, you're in your 40s. They're currently reinforcing at the moment. That's why it's cost so much. Please wait. Wait until they're finished reinforcing. Damn, that's a lot. For the forces of Apulia. Still not fully reinforced yet, so that way the cost can start going down and go up. Unless we have to make cuts. This is how much you make now, 0.8. All because of those men-at-arms, especially that were over the damn limit. Makes me want to turn to piracy again. Although you'll be losing piety for that, so if I were you, you should go on a Hajj before you even think about piracy operation, unless you want to do it later. But we need the money. Do it. Finance that. And meanwhile, there's another way to get prestige easy. Manage this frontier. What's the biggest one? Because I remember seeing it somewhere. Unless you're thinking of something else entirely. And we do want bailiffs as soon as possible to get more building slots, which I would like to build more economic buildings, so we could definitely sustain ourselves instead of having to rely on piracy all the damn time. So we should patronize arts and sciences, which adds to the lifestyle experience and the cultural fascination progress, and as well as prestige gain. In addition of gaining prestige and piety. There's a 10% chance that within a year a scholarly courtier from the relevant world will appear in your court based on your level of fame and learning. Sicily has been a meeting ground between different cultures and traditions for centuries. It is fertile ground for the continued growth of the arts and sciences, if that is enlightened rulers in the region sponsor such endeavors. I could consider myself something of an enlightened man myself, and have thus made great plans to allocate more of our treasury towards patronizing learned and cultured people and inviting them to my court. However, learned and cultured people come from different regions, so I should use the existing networks within Sicily to attract killer artists and scholars. Attract the Arab-Berber artists and scholars because it makes the most sense because of geographical location we're in. Every little bit helps to get us bailiffs. Now we're not making as much money as we used to. And get this man's opinion up further. And I think he'll pay you a bit more, right? Contribution due to obligation, I mean that's one thing. There we go, now we're starting to make a little bit See what a little maintenance could do for you. Now, if only have the Burr's innovation, which would take a long time. That's why I gotta go for bailiffs, so we can build more economic buildings. While at the same time, continue the development. But remember, each time you raid, you're gonna have negative prestige. And you can't contact the Mediterranean parts because you ain't got no prestige. But what you can do instead is, let me see. Development growth. Traders. I think having Norse and Norman traders would be a good idea. I recently became aware of the rumors emanating from my council that mar my dynasty now, with Overhaul being spread about my capabilities of managing my realm. After a cursory private investigation of the matter, unable to pinpoint the guilty councillor, but I suspect Diodorus behind my scheme. Must be on my guard about the council's poor opinion of me. Time to accuse him. This is an act of tyranny, but I got a little thing that can, you know, reduce that tyranny. So some of the renown for this dynasty will take a bit of a hit. So I'll accuse him and put him in prison. One sec. But unfortunately, I'm gonna have to let you go because you're too talented. I'm not gonna banish you. Let this be a lesson learned here. Because no one can do it like you. Plus, we need you for your talent. So we're slowly making more text back end. While I'm strolling alone in my thoughts in the small remote corridor of my castle, I pass by Kadir, who greets me with a courteous subdued "Good evening." Barely paying attention to this, I advance a few more paces when I hear the rustle of someone moving quickly behind me. I turn my head and can only see a dagger held by Kadir. His eyes filled with crazy hate, coming from the base of my neck. Only luck could save me. Having lunatic or possessed characters of one's own court carries some risks given their unstable state of mind. As you were attacked, totally unaware, neither your prowess nor intrigue can mitigate the final outcome of this unexpected attack. Or if you're paranoid, your chance to survive is better as your mind's always harmed by dangerous misgivings. 17% chance you escaped unscathed, 8% chance you become wounded, 28% chance you become severely injured, 12% chance you become brutally demoted, 35% chance that you are killed. Amir Theodoros of Malta has passed on to eternity at 43 years of age. He was murdered by Kadir ibn Ismail. Though quite famous for his sharp intellect, he still cannot outsmart Dazrael. He only ruled for 3 years. Murdered. Yes, he was dreaded. He tried to finance the pirate operation, but it never got off the ground. So now, Amir Abu Bakr ascends to the throne, the original heir. Beautiful beyond words, his appearance will have foreign dignitaries groveling at his feet. Maybe perhaps he can keep things stable around here. Yeah. 30 years old. That's a good age to start a rule with. But Kadir, my first act is to imprison you. And he says, "Yeah, I did it. I'll be there." He's an indomitable Azatani. The what? Indomitable has a tunny. Doesn't say that anywhere. I'm not changing, but I want to look. Indomitable as a tunny. I've never heard of that tradition before. Yeah, that's not a thing. Oh, I know where that is. Look at the Georgian culture. Or Armenian for that matter, there you go. Rulers act more aggressively against other houses. It's not a tradition of ours, but I get the idea. Look, it is tradition that kinslaying is accepted, but murder is murdered. You murdered a fellow family member. And you are possessed and a known murderer. You've been shy. I'm gonna try. So you will pay for your crimes for this. Wants to decrease house unity. Please report to prison, brother. Now, anyways, let's put the council together again. At least you like me more, but not enough to make it a, troublesome, as we could put someone more qualified in it. Get the imam on your side before he dislikes you. I do have one stewardship perk, as I've done a bit of traveling myself, but not enough to really matter. True ruler. There were concerns regarding prestige. So, go for majesty focus. Cutting cornerstone simply for the sake of cheaper buildings. Your intrigue is good as long as your marshals self-finance that piracy operation. And speaking of pirates, go get some booty. 66? We could do better than that. And finally, patronize the arts and sciences again. Bring in the Arab-Berber scholars again. As we know that the predecessor was a patron of it, and I want to continue my brother's intent for that. One second though, regarding... Please report to prison. A lesser daughter of Malta. As my siblings and I mourn my late brother Emir Theodoros, who only ruled for 3 years, we busy ourselves with the division of his lands. Malta fell to me, but what of my humble sister, Antipatra? Empty-handed, she watched the transition of power from the sidelines. No ceremonies for her, only oaths to others. Noble blood and the sword are decided her only birthright. She became an adventurer. Xena went with her. Some are not destined to rule. So now she's Mistress Antipatra. Champions of the Gesture. So she's a wanderer now. Formed her own camp right here. All I could say is, well, more power to you, ladies. Can't invite her to court anymore, as she is friends with Antipatra. You can go ahead and play Warrior Princess over there. Right now, for us here, and due to her presence in the island, I just hope she doesn't do something that would, you know, hurt the realm. Don't have them in prison yet. Wait a minute. How about back up? Where? No, that's Kadir is the name. Oh, you lucky bastard. You lucky bastard. You decided to go to Antipatra. And you too. Well, it's actually with the cousin of the Siculo-Arabic warband, which is up in Catania. People think they fear my wrath. Well, I mean, I'm careless. I'm also lustful. Yeah, that's who you're thinking of, regardless. Left behind my niece. At least you'll stay. I'd be willing to watch over. No reason. Kadir, you bastard. I had you. But I can invite him back to court and then imprison him. Unless the wandering style benefits him. And maybe one day he'll become an adventurer himself. And probably go after me. You know, regarding the titles. But hey, as long as he's out of your court, alright? That's all that matters. As long as he's out of your court. Well, this is a cutthroat, you know, business that we're in. Now, what else I'm gonna do? How much does it cost to bring in traders? 75. You know what, let's raid. And I'm actually gonna lead myself. Do we not have good qualified people anymore? You know what, hold that off on the idea of a raid. Stop. Stop, goddammit. Before you even think about going anywhere, how about you invite a few of us on over here? The Emirate of Calabria, a Persian. What's up with Persians interfering in their affairs? We just need a few good fighters, that's what we need, before we go raiding. Get rid of this damn lamp. You're never going to use it as a court artifact, and you're not going to have a court anytime soon. Royal court, to be more specific. Wait, you idiot! You repaired it! Destroy it, you idiot! Hassan, the Wazir. No, all I need is a spouse. Again, I need someone who would preferably give me more stewardship. Well, look at you. You're very virtuous. That's a good balance of skills. Again with the Persia connection. But the chance of having children are low. Oh yeah? Why so? Because of your age? I don't know, but I need you for your skills. You know, holding grand weddings are very expensive. Just get her over here. If she can even survive the trip. Recently I became aware of the uneasiness of all religious dignitaries regarding my conduct. This is extremely grieving, as I find no fault in my decisions concerning a religious matter. As things stand, I learned that someone inside my council is diminishing my stand among the religious elites and my piety suffers. Given a poor opinion about me, I think the main suspect of such nefarious act is none other than guilty. Now I need to decide what to do. I'll arrest him. It's a new regime around here. So we're making those changes before. Realm and lifestyle management. I'll do just that. You'll do because younger. Now she's decided to take up a life of a mercenary. Where the hell's she going? Godly hospitality. One would think she's probably doing a scheme, a contract, you know. Here we go. I know that is late. My pirate fleet keeps returning with the cargo holds of a good amount of valuables. Prizes also take with some regularity, which is a nice boon. All in all, it's good to be a pirate lord this time. 75 gold, very good. Good timing. Come on in. We need one more, and then we'll start raiding. And then, what are you gonna do with the earned, money for? As development is soon gonna become a bit of a lesser priority. So I'll tell you what. Once we reach, in 5 years' time, when we reach the development of 25, stop developing and focus more on trying to get more, extra tax, if we can. And maybe one day, and I've been around for a while now, commission an epic. Yep, my prisoner died in the dungeons, as he so well deserves. I'm becoming convinced that truly Sharism in Southern Italy has fallen. Well, Islamism still lives, but keep in mind, they're now going to want to spread Catholicism to Sicily. Shall we begin raiding? Because I know a few easy targets to raid. You are invading this part of Calabria. Ismaili Sicilian. Oh, okay, because you do have a presence there and you're moving up. Okay. So you're sort of involved. Is involved. It's got the right culture thing. Big uprising. What's... Ooh. If you get deposed... then... Sultan III. He'll be in charge again. He'll be the Emir instead of the Wali. Should raid there, as you do have a sizable force. Because I still wish to improve here to gain a little bit more tax income and some plague resistance. Because my priority at this point is, well, this is going to happen during my rule. In the next 6 years, we'll begin investments on building additional buildings for here, there, and there. Qadir's been murdered. We'll never know what kind of emir would have become, or his death is a blessing or a curse in this matter. Good. Was killed by Godefat, bodyguard of Mistress Antipatra. I guess he was having another one of those, you know, fits that he was trying to, you know. Oh, okay, so it's something to do. Unless it's one of those random camp events where two courtiers don't get along and they decide they fight it out. Like Qadir, the murderer of Theodoros, was killed in that duel. Good. Didn't like him. Now, if anything happens to me for whatever reason, then Captain Saldan of the Siculo-Arabic war band will take the reins here. Because, you know, someone like him would... Damn, he's more than qualified. Yes, he's killed. He's committed crimes. And this is just like a... This is just like my father. Again, that's only in case if anything happens to me. I mean, I have no rivals, so there shouldn't be any more issues here. I believe in the short term. Like whenever you get the money, I want you to invite Norse and Norman settlers, bring in traders to help increase the income. You discovered horseshoes. Oh wow. You have so much money you had no idea what to do with other than send you a gift. I accept it. Thank you very much. Well, actually, let's do that right now. Bring in the Norse and Norman traders. So this is diplomacy +1, stewardship +1, And domain taxes plus 5%. Sendward. I come into contact with a band of Norwegians, adventurers led by a man named Gottfried, who has expressed interest in serving. Gottfried agreed to provide something in return for allowing me his band to move into my territories. Though notorious as warriors and raiders, the Norman are also cunning in commerce and widely traveled. The Scandinavia's extensive trade networks are a valuable asset for any business-minded ruler. As so it happens, Godfrey has experience in traveling and trading, and is offering to bring traders into my territories to build a lucrative productive trade relationship with me. Lastly, I can ask him to help me defend my territories against the curse of a hostile North, though very unlikely. So I'll say it's good enough for now. For the next 15 years. Now contact the Normans for the same. That'll cost you 125. Same percentage. Alright, adventures. We initially agreed on the deal for me to pay these adventurers generously. The last minute negotiations with Berrold went awry. The damned ruffian wants even more gold from me, more than the original amount we agreed to. I must respond to these preposterous demands carefully, lest these pirates get any funny ideas. I guess it's because he's ambitious. Okay, pay on that, and he wants another additional 30 gold. Fine, the scoundrel will get what he wants. I had little choice but to agree to the demands that Berrold made, for the risks were too great. However, these Normen are not completely honest, for they otherwise agreed to fulfill their initial promises to me. So hope they won't cause any trouble. Greedy bastards. Don't raise it because it costs money to have them raise as raiders. Actually, not as much, but it's going to be much harder to get out of debt. I just wanted to demonstrate that. So, leave it. Don't do anything. Maybe if we get lucky, some money's going to come in from the pirates. From the piracy operation, I should say. Just wondering how you're here. Okay. I noticed that you are Mazda Yaslan, Zoroastrian, but don't really care as much as just give me this stewardship. It's what you're here for. The heirs of Lampedusa. My steward, Deodoro, known for his interest in veterinary, brings rumors of beast farmer. I'm hearing much talk from the Malta, said about excellent prospects for hunting thereabouts, with many, where have you seen roaming the slopes? So those are the wild animals that do live in Malta? In fact, that's something you ought to look up, ladies and gentlemen. The wildlife of Malta. And I don't mean marine wildlife. I'll look that up. Are European heirs native to Malta? Endemic Maltese wildlife. Okay. Let me see. Are there any rabbits there? No. There are a few endemic ones, including most notably the Sicilian shrew in Gozo. You know, over here. Yes, I'm reading stuff because, one, we're in debt. All I gotta do is sit on my hands and just let time tick along. Freshwater crab, wall lizard, Esther's gecko mite. List of mammals of Malta. Ah, here we go. This should expand upon it more. North African hedgehog. The aforementioned shrews. There's bats. Whales in its waters. And dolphins, one would think. And least weasel. So, no. Hares are not native to Malta. They're probably imported by, I don't know, whoever brought them here. Unless any of you viewers that are actually native of Malta or know things about Malta in regards to flora and fauna there. Now I can take the commission epic decision whenever I want to. But it would be interesting to become a Gus just to boost my damn ego. But we're making excellent money right now because of men-at-arms negotiation. Much reduced, thank you. Alright. But don't go anywhere. Because you have to save a bit of money in case you're going to spend on something before you go into piracy. I'm only financing the piracy operation, not actually actively raiding them like I should be. Of course, the easiest thing in the world would be just go raid the hell, raid Venice, claim liberty. Ah, here we go. I noted that as of late, the sea lanes are teeming with cargo ships, and my pirate fleet are taking advantage of this golden opportunity to fill its holds. Prizes keep arriving in my harbor to the delight of everyone. My success is so vast, and my infamy keeps spreading in the form of increased dread. Let's count the plunder. 180! There you go. Now we're back in business. And you know what I also need to do? Go visit the university. But you know how much it costs these days to go to the university? Which the nearest one is in Salerno, if you were to do it all the way. 363. And I believe that can be earned much easily. Well, let's raid. I could be qualified, but I'm at my own risk. At your own risk. They're not doing anything right now. Unless you want to take the easy option and just go after there. So I think we'll take the safer option instead of the, you know, the big option where it's go big, go home and raid Venice, but they may bring a pretty sizable army there. Or alternatively, go after the Dalmatian states. I mean, their loot has to be pretty splendid, and they are. Some are more developed than others. Haven't left at sea yet. You know what? Dalmatia is the better option. Okay, not as lucrative. Start with Split. Right around it. Actually, no. That place is... Damn it! And disease is relatively new. Okay, fine. Head there. Okay, damn it. The safest option. And plus, I have to lead it personally because the event of bring me bounteous plunder. Gonna need a child from you since we have it late and there's a low chance of that happening. Don't know what gives, but something's gotta give. Unless I get killed in action, then Captain Saldan takes over. In which he does have children of his own. Plenty of it. Xena died from botched treatment at consumption. Hold on. Where is Antipatria located? Caspian Sea, but her camp is based there. Ah, because the Ghaznavid issue. You really want to go to Imperiality, do you? Still lives. 100 techniques of love. She was a wonderful harlot, Zachariah, says of a hearty laugh. Never paid for a better woman to keep me company at night. I'm having a small feast with some courtiers, and a lusty man is recalling an encounter at a brothel as he went to the bank. She says she learned 100 different techniques in the art of love, and it was worth every coin. I had to not only have her demonstrate one of those techniques on me, but to explain it to me. Who knew intimacy could be such a philosophical art? Some of my courtiers listened attentively, fascinated, and a little too excited. Others look irritated and offended at his remarks. Yet many try to awkwardly avoid the contact with him as he explains these supposed 100 techniques. While I'm lustful, I'll say this is all too fascinating. I should be taking notes. Yeah. I mean, I haven't had any children yet. I'm having issue with my wife already, so I'll try to learn some of that. Get your niece. Raid around these islands. Actually, raid there first on the other island before we go to the main island. And remember, if you're not satisfied by your single wife, you can always get another. And as well as, well, we should start saving up money to invest in new economic buildings when we get another building slot for the Maltese culture here. So we can definitely sustain ourselves. That's going to be the purpose of it. Plus, can't go hunting. Can't afford it. Well, actually, I can afford it. It's just, it'll cost you. And doubt that those heirs would be around by then. Dread. Alright, to the main one. Raid here. And after we're done raiding these islands, go back. Meanwhile, landslide in Malta. A landslide's been reported here in Malta, burying several villages and killing many. I'll need to act quick if I'm to help the people here. As I'm just callous, I'll say, it's too bad. There's not much we could do. Oh dear. For the next 5 years. And they will not like me that much for not providing disaster relief here. Unless you want to take the other option to provide relief while lessening the thing here. I'll say it's too bad. There's not much we could do. For the next 5 years, everything is expensive. And development's been havled. All because money's going to be spent elsewhere. Because he's a man like that, you know. Servants have been sent away, and our beds are decorated with seashells. Miracle Pari enters our chambers, smiles happily, joins you without any hesitation. With the help of hands, mouths, and lips, we affirmed the devotion we swore before, perhaps in a more carnal fashion than intended. I just simply wanted to play with bonds of marriage are enough. Not making her my lover. Don't want to be too devoted. Because as a lustful man, what is that thing that I'm going to use a modern reference here? Something that James Bond said. Something about loves another, loves more another, loves another. I don't know. It's been a long time, alright? Just raid these holdings here, then go home. Simple tasks for all of you. Here you have your son. That means more money for ransom. Ah, here it is. There you go. I can use that money to go to university, which we'll do that in the next episode. All you needed to do is slave her, and that's it. Hope for a son. The House of Islam is under a grave threat from the onslaught of heathens and infidels in its fair harmonies. In response, a magnificent Caliph Dua has declared an era of renewed jihad is upon the world. The core regions of Dawah Islam must be retaken at all costs. All righteous Muslim people should be prepared to join the ranks of the Mujahideen by the upcoming struggles. The theological ramifications of this news are already being discussed by the Caliph and the other noble members of our clergy. We're eager to follow the example of the Muwadis and begin the new age of religious warfare in the name of Islamism. This is started by, you know, I'll say Allah protect us, because this is started by Caliph Dua bint Yaqub, the resentful gentlewoman, the female caliph. Even though we're not Sunni anymore, keep in mind we're all Shia these days. Because it's what the island has, and that's what Insular Sicily has, so it's the dominant religion, so therefore we have to adapt. Hot, hot, hot. I'm drinking some herbal tea that was meant to be good for one's health. However, I drank a little too fast and burnt my tongue in front of everyone, which led me to spill my tea on my clothes. That in turn led to some minor burns on my skin. It's just one of those days, isn't it? Saldan, a charming cousin, is now being held by the will of Princefe Shaban. What could be done with him? They're probably gonna ransom him. Yep. Likely a ransom. Actually, no. Released without request. Oh, child's not meant to be. Yes, shows me this way of life with her hand lingers on her belly. She's no longer pregnant. Huh. Well, at least tried. But please remember, even if you... I'll give her another chance. Because if I don't get another child, especially if it's a daughter, I'm gonna have to get a second wife. But I'm still keeping the Persian as the primary wife due to her skills. Again, we'll end this episode when these guys come home to Malta. And in that next episode, I'm going to do two things. First is, since everything's expensive now because of the recent landslide, I decided not to give disaster relief of any kind around here locally, because I'm rather callous myself, is that I'm going to go to the university. Aaron just died from being ill. He was the great spy master. Only 58. Now I've got some not so well competent counselors these days, but still serviceable. Oh, watch your back, man. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we'll end the episode here, in which I've stated before. In the next episode, I'm going to the university up in Salerno, which development's up to 26 now. And remember, when the development in 3 years' time reaches 25, stop, unless you're building something, which won't come until we get bailiffs up in 4 years' time. So at least there's still some time for me to get money by any means, which is going to be spent to going to university, before we even think about building buildings or upgrading them for that matter. So we'll see you in the next episode, but until then, so long for now.